Perry Dozier, good afternoon to you, sir. Appreciate your time.
Hey, good afternoon, Rob. Thank you very much for having me today.
So, first question for you, sir. Give us a little bit of information about yourself. Some in the district may not be familiar with you. So tell us a little bit about your ties to the area and some of the things that people may know you from.
Okay, well, very good. I grew up in the district my entire life. I was actually born in Walla Walla, grew up on a farm outside of Prescott, graduated from Prescott High School, and then Whitman College with a degree in economics. About 20 years, I've been farming my entire life, and 20 years ago, I was elected as an officer for the Washington Association of Wheat Growers, served 4 years with that, state president 2001. So I represented 13 counties in eastern Washington with the small grains. 2 years later, or no, right after that, for 2 years, I was a Washington State Barley Commissioner, continued with the same thing, representing the same area, and got to be over here in this area quite a bit. My mother-in-law actually was raised on a sheep farm north on Road 68. And my father-in-law, when he got out of the war, purchased a bunch of sand dunes that's right there at the track arena, Burden Road to 60, and we had that until Pasco grew into it. But a lot of people might know me. I was a Walla Walla County Commissioner 2009 to 2016. So I served on a lot of boards with Benton County Commissioners, Franklin County Commissioners, Greater Columbia Behavioral Health, Aging Long-Term Care. So I've been in this area a long time and actually managed the farm ground that we had in North Pasco, again, until it was developed. So I have quite a few ties over here. My wife has been actively involved in horse riding over here at the fairgrounds here in Kennewick. So I'm very familiar with this area.
So why decide to run for state senate?
Well, when I retired as a county commissioner, I announced my retirement early in my last year, and my sons were in college at the time and finishing school, and I thought maybe I'd spend some more time, and not run for a third term as commissioner. Senator Mike Hewitt at the time, who has been a friend of mine for about 40 years, announced his retirement. I called Mike after session in 2016 and said, I maybe kind of like to do this. Tell me about the requirements and everything, time requirements and stuff. When he did, I said, you know what, I'm not ready right now. I've got to get my farm in line, and I want to spend time with my kids. So I put that on hold. And then in January 2019, at that point, I thought, I would like to maybe pursue this now. I've been out for 3 years, and I just wanted to take the knowledge that I had from being a county commissioner and what has come down from legislation and regulations from Olympia that has a direct impact on us that I felt as a county commissioner and also as a farmer for my entire life. I'd like to take my knowledge and go over to Olympia. So we started working on our campaign in early 19.
What are some of the things that you feel are most pressing right now at the state level, and what things do you think that you can have an impact on if elected as a state senator?
Well, if you asked me this question in January, it would be a little bit different, but I think right now the economy is the thing that's killing us the worst here. Having a shutdown for 4 months out of the year is crippling our local economy. It's crippling our state economy, because when people work with a vibrant economy, they're working, they're paying taxes. Taxes are what fuels government, and then for us to provide the services. I think what we have to do going into this next year is how can we get those people back working? How can we get businesses open? I know that we have to be cautious because of the COVID, but if we don't do that, I started talking to small businesses shortly after this, a lot in your area. We've interviewed a lot of different small businesses multiple times here, and as of just the other day, I talked to another small business that they're only in phase 2, but they're afraid they're going to go back to phase 1, and they're a small restaurant. And this is not in this county, I'm sorry, because they're phase 2. But they said, well, we're only losing $4,000 a month right now. Well, they're still losing.
No question about it. Now, obviously, you paid attention to Olympia.
Yes.
You know how things are configured. Mm-hmm. And you've seen how difficult it has been, particularly the last couple sessions, for Republicans to get many things accomplished.
Right.
What do you think is key to try and breaking some of that gridlock and trying to work across the aisle to get some things accomplished to benefit Eastern Washington, where we haven't really seen a lot of that for the last few years.
Right. I think a lot of this comes from the experience that I gained. Again, I'll go back 20 years ago when I was with the Wheat Growers Association. We're nonpartisan, so we had to work with both Democrats and Republicans for the good of what is going to benefit our industry. And so I worked a lot with those, both parties to do that. As a county commissioner, I pull back on my 8 years of experience there. And you still have to work with both sides, because you're still asking them to help with this legislation or not help with that. I feel that throughout the course of my 20 years that I have the leadership and the ability to go over there and communicate about the issues that we have here and the importance of both sides being able to do it. Just like with this COVID-19, it's not a Democratic disease or a Republican disease. It affects everybody and it affects businesses. And I can communicate that to those people, I believe.
We're talking with Perry Dozier, candidate for State Senate in the 16th Legislative District here on the Bottom Line. What are some of the things that you have seen in this very interesting political cycle? I mean, COVID-19 has made it very difficult to get out and around. It's forced a lot of things to hit social media, a lot of non-traditional ways to campaign. What are some of the challenges that you faced in your campaign because of COVID-19 and the restrictions?
The hardest part is getting out in front of people. I mean, I like getting out and talking to people and meeting them and getting them to know me better. I always feel it's more important to have a face-to-face meeting with somebody than over a phone. Even Zoom, you don't get that same feeling. When this started in the beginning, you know, we did a really strong, and we still are doing a really strong social media campaign, but you don't reach the entire population. It's very difficult to do that. Then about probably 2 months ago, our Attorney General's office decided to step in, and we couldn't boost our Facebook pages to get over to this area, and which made it very difficult again. If we have to rely on that, we're not able to meet the people. I can't go door to door. I mean, I'd love to come over here and go door to door and walk up and down the streets, but if I do that and I'm a political figure going up and down the street, well, you know what's going to happen. Somebody takes a picture and Perry Dozier's and splashed all over every media outlet there is.
Now, you alluded to a couple times pasco because we know about 40 to 45% of the 16th is Benton County, and about maybe 10 is Pasco, and then, of course, Walla Walla makes up the rest. And you've been a Walla Walla County Commissioner, a lot of your endorsements from Walla Walla area politicians. How do you plan to get to those 40 to 45% in Benton County that may not be familiar with you? Because I live in Benton County, and I have
never heard of me.
I've seen very little in Benton County and a couple of signs on 182.
Yeah.
How do you plan to reach out and get information out there to those voters in Benton County who are very familiar with your opponent, but may have no knowledge of you?
Well, we just started our TV ads and radio ads this week. And so that's, I'm hoping that people will, obviously, like I do, turn into your station here and in Walla Walla and on your news stations here. So I hope that kind of helps. We've done some flyers that we've sent out. We've done mailers early, but you know, the problem with the mailers is a lot of times they get set on a desk, and guess what? That's it. They don't open it up. That's happened to me even in Columbia County, which I represent. I've talked to people there, and they go, oh, this has been laying here for 3 weeks, 4 weeks or something. That's what I'm trying to do now. We've got a short 3 weeks. 3 weeks in trying to get out there. Now, can I come out here and hold an event in the park? That probably, again, isn't going to be real popular. I'd like to say, come meet me, meet and greet. And I'd love to be able to do that, but it's a challenge, Rob. I mean, it's one of the things we're faced with, and I'm hoping word of mouth spreads things.
Now, we talked a little bit about the economy, and that's one thing certainly that you're focused on if you do get elected that you would hone in on. But there are a lot of things that are in representing a district that has multiple counties in it. Each county has its own set of interests and set of challenges. for those in Benton County who may not be familiar with you, what are some of the things that you think need to be addressed in Benton County to help the population there? And then tell us a little bit about some of the things maybe in Pasco and in Walla Walla that you think you could accomplish to help improve the quality of life there.
Well, I think one of the most important things is, as a county commissioner, I was our budget chair for 5 years. When I was elected, we were into a recessionary period. We had to do a lot of things in that time to be able to retain our workforce where it was at and our services where we were doing it, and we did so without raising any taxes. And that's one of the things that I can bring. When I look at like Benton County, you're heavy in agriculture, really important here in the south end, and irrigated agriculture. Well, I've been an irrigated farmer for over 30 years. There's going to be issues with water rights that will come up without a doubt. I think there were maybe some bills that did not get introduced last year that still may come up. Water is the lifeblood for this. Like I say, whether it's Franklin County or Benton County, that's what feeds everything. You get over to western Benton County with your Rosa Water District being a junior water right holder out of the Yakima River. Those types of issues, we need to protect those. Those growers cannot lose the ability to be able to irrigate. It cripples the economy. I look at residential growth. And how that's moving. That was something I was involved in with our Pasco property when I worked with the city of Pasco and Franklin County. I understand zoning and I understand how that works. I remember when Columbia Center was built, and then if you go out 395, you just get slightly past Clearwater. It was nothing but sand going that way. So now you're getting into that part of the district where that is very important. So you need to understand the Growth Management Act, which I worked with a lot as a commissioner, and you need to understand zoning and how you can grow within that, your growth boundaries. And I have that I can bring to this area with your growth.
We're talking with Perry Dozier. He is a candidate for State Senate, the 16th Legislative District here on the Bottom Line. Mr. Dozier, we appreciate your time this afternoon. Is there anything else that you would like to say to our listeners?
Other than be sure to vote on the 4th, and because this is a very important primary election. We've got a very tough Democratic challenger out there, and so we need all of your votes for us, and especially if you vote Perry Dozier for Senate.
Where can they find more information on your campaign?
It's dozierforsenate.com. Go to there and you can get links to Facebook and recordings and everything that I've been working on for the past 8 months.
Perry Dozier, candidate for State Senate in the 16th Legislative District. Appreciate your time this afternoon, sir. Thanks for coming in, and good luck to you.
Thank you, Rob.
Take a quick time out.